Welcome to the Riff Report, the loudest corner of the internet.
I'm Ryan.
And I'm Tyler, and we're here to fill you in on all things punk, metal, alternative, anything heavy.
Today we're chatting about Atreyu's The Crimson 2025, Ozzy Osbourne's funeral, and taking a deep dive into The Devil Wears Prada, plus our track of the week.
All right, start off with a little recap for our week. How have you been, Ryan? What up with you?
I'm doing all right, man. Had a nice afternoon on the boat, trolling
Nice,
up and down the river with the family.
nice.
So yeah, just chilling after a long work week. How about you, Tyler?
Got sick earlier this week. Had to call off for a day. That wasn't too fun. Something's been going around. Got over it after a couple days though. Something small. And it wasn't COVID. So I was really excited about
Sure.
that. But yeah, just kind of milling about. I wasn't too busy this week at work. I was able to get some stuff done at home and just catch up on a lot of stuff. So it's always needed for the mental health. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean. While you were at home sick, I would assume you had a little bit of extra free time to listen to some music.
Oh
What
yeah.
were you listening to this week?
I've been getting back into an old album. I say old, but I think it's like 6 years old. North Lane specifically. One song I really enjoy on the album Alien. If you haven't listened to it, check it out. Um, Talking Heads. I figured that was the perfect plug-in for our episode. Just a couple of talking heads, voices in your head. It's a great song. I just love North Lane. I don't know how else to describe them. They've got enough technical aspects, some heavy aspects, little darkness, little ambiance, just all around solid band. So definitely recommend that.
Nice. Yeah,
What have you been listening to?
I'm gonna have to say I haven't really uh dived in on North Lane's discography, but I do remember them from I'd say probably like 2010, 2011
You probably
in that
know
area.
Dispossession. I think that was a big song of
Okay.
theirs.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I just remember I remember pretty heavy guitars, a lot of breakdowns.
Yeah. And they just grew from there.
Oh, I'll have to give them another chance. I'll
Hmm.
listen to Talking Heads by North Lane.
Thank you. So yeah,
Yeah.
what have you been listening to, man? Come
Um yeah, I mean, for the most part, just still on the Sabbath and Ozzy train.
on. Okay.
Uh just still keeping that going. It's just so easy to keep listening to those albums over and over.
Classic.
Um but one of the new tracks that I've been digging a lot, they actually popped up on my release radar on Spotify was a song called Sacred
Ooh.
by Parkway Drive. I'm not super familiar with Parkway Drive either. I mean, I know that they were a huge influence in the metalcore scene
Oh yeah, for sure.
early on, but just never, they really never made their way into my playlist. But this song came on and I didn't even know who it was. I was just listening to the track and I was like, you know what? This is a good track. And
Nice.
turned out to be Parkway Drive.
Awesome. I will say they put on a pretty good
Yeah.
live show. I caught them 2 years ago in Louisville. They did that Slipknot thing where they attached the drummer by belts to his
Oh,
seat
yeah.
and then rotated the whole drum set with like pyrotechnics going around and everything. It was kind of sick. That makes me want to listen to them a little bit more.
All right. So on that note, then, is that a gimmick or is it cool? Does it depend on who does it?
Can it be both? I mean, everything Kiss did was a gimmick, but Parkway
But
Drive,
it
I
was
think they
still
can get away
cool.
with it. Yeah, a lot of bands do that nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah. Just gives me it reminds me of the Tommy Lee Motley Crue days. when he was doing that all the time. And I'm
Right.
like, I don't know. Does that make it cool? Does it make it not
Right.
cool?
You don't see as much if we're talking about the drum thing. The fucking yeah. Um.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gimmick for sure.
Yeah. But is it still cool? Is I guess what I'm asking.
I thought it was cool, but
Depends,
it's
I
both.
guess. Yeah.
You're just throwing me for a loop. It's both. That's my answer.
Yep. It's cool and lame at the same time.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, moving on. I've got some industry news.
Ooh.
So this over the past couple weeks, since this is our first official episode, I
Yes.
figured we could talk about some older records, but just came out over the past couple weeks. We got Chiodos, the All's Well That Ends Well 20th anniversary re-release, re-recorded and re-released. Um, I thought it was really good. Um, I think everything was just a little cleaner, a little tighter. Um, and I know you've got your opinions
I
on
do.
this situation. Um, so what's your point of view
I
on
think
this
the only
record?
reason why they did this was because Craig Owens, I've seen him half a dozen times now in my show going tenure. Never seen him
Mhm.
in Chiodos though. It's only been with his other band Drugs. Destroy Rebuild Until God Shows. Great show, great voice. You know, I saw him when they dropped their first album, Warp Tour 2011, I want to say. Um, I got dropped. That was the first time I got dropped crowd surfing into a bunch of gravel, so it just sticks with me. And I'm trying to
Yeah,
think. The guy from First to Last, not Sonny, but the
yeah.
guitarist. I forgot his name. Unfortunately, he was a great musician. But anyways, yeah, seen him half a dozen times. But I feel like we've all known Craig's a little bit personally motivated. I'll say, and now that
So
he's
you're saying he's selfish.
that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he's personally motivated. He's the only original member in Chiodos now after all this time. Everyone else
Yeah.
left, got fired, whatever. I'm not part of that process. I don't know. Uh, but yeah, I feel like that happened so they could get around some royalties, some writing credits, some musicianship credits. Because everyone, I was looking up, everyone's still credited as a writer from the old band, but
Okay.
most of the rest of it's just Craig and Sumerian and the touring guys he has with him. So, the studio, whatever. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. That's what I feel about it. It's
So
decent.
funny story.
You go ahead. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
shut
no,
your
I
mouth
mean,
on.
just funny story on the topic. I mean, we'll talk more about it later, but that's kind of how I felt the first time I listened to the Crimson 2025.
That's fair.
I was like, I I'll have to look into it and do some research and see exactly how the royalties on that work
Mhm.
because as far as I know, even with covers, like if a band covers another band's work, that band still gets paid for that. So I don't know if that affects the writing versus performing credits on it or not, but that was kind of how I felt about the Crimson. I was like, oh, they're just, I mean, obviously, Brandon wants to get his vocals on the
Right.
record,
Yeah.
but I also kind of saw that as like, oh, you just guys are just trying to slight Alex out of some money here. But didn't work on me. I still listen to the original one.
There you go.
But yeah, anyways, enough on that topic for now. Um, more album drops over the past couple weeks.
Hmm.
We've got Fit for a King
Super
released
excited about
their
that one.
album Lonely God. Have you heard any bit of it yet?
I've listened to the entire album at least 4 times already, start to
Okay,
finish.
that's way
It's
more than I have.
so it's pretty good. There's so I'm not. Okay, I'm an avid Fit for a King fan. I saw him with Devil Wears Prada also a couple years ago. Um, they were co-headlining for the Metalcore Dropouts tour. This was right after, shoot, what album was it? The Hell We Create. That's what it was. It was the year after that one came out. Great album. Um, yeah, Reaching Out, Falling Through the Sky, solid track. Uh, but yeah, so don't. I'm not saying don't quote me on this, but I've gotten to hear a lot of their stuff. I kind of got into Fit for a King around Death Grip, so it's been almost 9, 10 years, you know. But this
Okay.
one has a nice total collection of their sound. They've got Begin the Sacrifice just starts out heavy. You know, they're chugging along, they're just punching you with their riffs. And a couple of them, there was Shelter. That one kind of slowed it down a little bit. You know, my heart's in the middle of a hurricane for the ladies. But yeah, it's just an all around solid album. Blue Venom was really good. They got Alpha Wolf on there too on the track Monolith, so I can't
Okay.
say no to that.
Yeah. No, I to be honest with you, I gave this a once over listen and I didn't even make it to the end.
Okay,
I was driving home from work.
that makes sense.
That's not enough time to fit in a whole album. So I gave it what I could. From for the most part, I'd say I thought it was pretty good. I'm not familiar with any of their stuff before this, to be honest with you.
Okay,
Um, I know that I knew that they were a metalcore band. I knew they've been around for a while. That was about the extent of my knowledge of Fit for a King. But I was surprised um, because going into this, I did see the crowd rankings for this on Sputnik Music, and at the moment, it has moved its way up to 3.2 out of 5, which is a good
yeah,
rating. But at the beginning, I think when I first pulled this up, I think it was down in the twos, and I
rough.
went into the album thinking that it was going to be garbage. And then I started listening to it, and I was like, it's fine. I don't see why
That's
this is
right.
garbage at all. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna have to give that one a
Oh, for
couple
sure.
more listens.
Give the
But
album Dark Skies a listen. You know, this one's good.
okay,
That one's my favorite though. It's pretty good.
where if you had to rank Lonely God on a scale of 1 to 5, what would you give it?
I give it above a 4. It's not a perfect album.
Okay,
Give it about a 4.2, 4.3. I think that'd be fair.
4.3
Yeah,
out of 5.
out of 5.
All right, well, you guys you guys heard it first. Come back to Sputnik Music and
All
look
right.
at the
Put those numbers up, people.
rating
Please.
in a couple months, and we'll see if that gets up to 4.3. Another album that I wanted to just bring up, just because I like supporting this band, is the Dirty Nail came out with their album The Lash. I want to say probably like three weeks ago at this point. Um, but I just like promoting them. They're from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, which is not too far from us, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. Um, but three piece, I it's hard to describe them. They've got punk influences, they've got metal influences, they've got um, pop punk influences. They just mesh really well, and it's hard to kind of pinpoint what their genre exactly is. But I just call them a bunch of rock and rollers, dude.
Sick. Love it.
Um,
Yeah, you brought them
but yeah,
up numerous times with me. There was that show. around here, up at the scheme. Excuse me. Last
It was
year.
either, yeah, it was either the intersection or pyramid scheme, I believe. I think it was pyramid scheme,
Yeah.
which I've been wanting to see a show there
Hmm.
for the longest time anyway.
Yeah.
Um,
We'll get there, bud.
but
Just believe.
we'll get there. And to be honest with you, I will see the Dirty Nil. However, those tickets just keep rising every time they come to town. They keep rising, and good for them.
Right. It's a good problem to have, you know?
Yeah, I mean, good for them. They're getting
Until
popular.
they start
But yeah, the
charging
new
$600, and then that's the worst. Don't do that.
uh I hope they don't do that. I would imagine they're not going to do that.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, their new album The Lash, it actually didn't do too great on Sputnik Music either. It's got a 3.5.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure their previous albums have been rated really highly. I have given this album a couple listens to, and I will say that it is not my favorite by them. Um there's 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 some not great tracks on there. There's some really good tracks. There's some pretty catchy stuff on there, but it just doesn't come with the um I think the production quality and the grit that some of their previous releases have come with.
All right. I'll have to give that
But yeah.
a listen.
Yeah, I highly recommend them. I recommend their whole entire discography. Really cool band that I don't think gets enough credit. So give them some credit. Uh, in further news, um, we got an announcement this past week, I believe. So we all heard that the Foo Fighters let drummer Josh Freese go. I think what, like a month and a half ago.
Yeah,
So
give or
we've
take. I
been,
was super surprised by that. I'm like, you're getting rid of Josh Freeze, like the drummer of most time. I was very confused by that.
well, I'm happy that we're bringing that up right now because I don't know enough people that I think appreciate the topic to talk about it with. But when it first happened, there's a lot of people talking crap on the internet, and I get it because Josh Freese is an amazing drummer. He's played on some awesome projects, but what a lot of people don't think about is that a band needs to be able to mesh, and it doesn't matter how good
Yeah, that's
you
fair.
are as a musician. If you guys don't get along or you don't mesh well, then move along, especially for a band as solidified as the Foo Fighters.
Yeah,
They don't need to screw around. Like they
that's
can
fair.
get the best musicians. Just get who you enjoy being on
That's really
tour
fair.
with and
Yeah. Especially
move
because
on.
they're looking to not replace, you can't replace Taylor, but they're looking to probably find that same energy, the mesh, like you said. They need a new, or you know what I mean? Like another Taylor. Like they're
Yeah,
just one big happy family. Like I get it. I get it.
they do. I mean, as much as I've appreciated um the iterations of Foo Fighters, honestly, my opinion has always been that the Foo Fighters should just be a Dave Grohl solo project. But whatever.
You gotta have Pat in there, dude. They've been there the most, pretty sure, since the beginning. Pat was
Trust
in
me,
Nirvana.
you gotta have every. Yeah, Pat was in Nirvana. Um, I mean, you gotta have everybody in that band. Everybody plays their part. That's why I say I appreciate the whole band for what they are.
Yeah,
But
all right.
that their first album being written and recorded mostly by Dave
Yeah.
is
All right.
still
All
to
right.
this day a masterpiece.
I concede.
S- So uh, that's something that our future fans of the podcast will get to know about me is that I am a giant Dave Grohl fan. So you can hate on me all you want, but I don't care.
That's fine.
But yeah, we found out officially who's replacing Josh Freeze on drums, and it is uh pardon me for the pronunciation, but I'm pretty sure it is Ian Rubin. He just recently was in Nine Inch Nails, and they parted ways. So the Foo Fighters picked him up, and believe it or not, Josh Freese has been announced as the new drummer of Nine Inch Nails. So we got a good old fashioned drummer swap.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. Josh used to play
Uh,
with Nine Inch Nails in the past.
I was just gonna say I did do some reading into the subject and did find out that Josh did play for Nine Inch Nails and for not long enough as it sounds either. Apparently, he was forced to leave the band due to uh, personal reasons, something with his family or something like
I
that.
think that him and his wife were
Um,
having their third kid, I think is what I had read up. So fair family time, you know what I
there,
mean?
yeah, fair point. It sounded like Josh had really kind things to say about playing with Nine Inch Nails when he did. So it sounds like he's in the right space again.
Yeah,
And we'll see what happens with Ian Rubin and the Foo Fighters. Maybe the Foo Fighters have gotten their guy now.
yeah,
But as much as I enjoy every new Foo Fighters release, I will say I don't really look forward to them as much as I used to.
yeah.
It's like they just pop up on my Spotify and they're
Like,
like,
oh
"Hey,
shit,
there's
Foo
a new Foo
Fighters,
Fighters," and
nice.
I'm like, "Okay, cool,
Yeah,
I'll listen to that," but I'm
trying to
not
think the
like,
last album I got into.
uh, "It was a long time for me."
Was it Medicine at
Um,
Midnight? Maybe it had this
yeah, that.
video on it. Was it Run? I can't remember.
Oh yeah, "Run"
Yeah,
was such a good song.
yeah. Did you see the video for it?
Um,
Dave Grohl is
I
like
did
Father Time. So
I
good.
did see the video for it. Um, I am a sucker for I like to refer to them as reggaeton beats. You got that do got do got do got do
Right.
got.
Yeah.
Um, so anytime a rock band mixes that in with their music,
Uh-huh.
you've got me already. Which was why I liked oh I'm not it is Suffocate by Knocked Loose that's got that breakdown that
Yeah.
does the reggaeton beat.
Right.
That dude that got me so hyped the first time I listened to that.
Yeah.
Same thing with Run. They got that fast beat,
Yeah.
upbeat reggaeton, and it just gets you going, or it gets me going. I don't know.
But this
I won't speak for
be a
everyone else.
testament to how old we're getting. Run came out in 2017. It's an 8-year-old track now.
Oof.
I remember when it first
Seems
came
like
out. I was like, "Oh, this is sick." Man,
I remember when they pressed that on the vinyls for the first time.
you know what I mean?
Yep. We are getting old. That does seem like
That's
it's not that old of a track.
I know.
Um, yep. Moving on in industry news,
Yeah.
we did get a tour announcement. Uh,
Pretty
I'm gonna
recently.
pretty recently. I
Yeah.
pulled up this tour flyer, so we've got some information on the stops.
Okay.
But we've got, as I would pronounce, Sanguizabug. But
You're missing
I
a
know
vowel,
that
dude.
that
You're missing a vowel.
I know that's I know that's wrong. You say it the way that you want to say it. All right.
Sangui Sugabog, dude. It's right there.
There we go. Sanguisugabog. Yeah, they released a tour with Despised Icon, Corpse Pile, and Defeated Sanity,
Yes.
which is a pretty cool lineup. I'm not familiar with the last two bands, but I have seen Despised Icon
I have
twice.
not. Oh. Okay.
They are awesome, and for all of you old MySpace deathcore kids, they'll know exactly about Despised Icon. I didn't even know that they were still a band, to be honest with you.
Huh. Excuse me. Yeah, my favorite part about this tour is that it's starting out right here in our home state. It's going to be in November 4th. We're starting off at St. Andrews Hall, then moving on to Chicago. So we've got two. very close locations to maybe pop by, check it out, let you listeners know about it. Um, yeah, it's gonna if we go, that's gonna be the first time I've seen everybody except for Sangui Sugabog. Despised Icon has definitely popped on my playlist, but everybody else, I do not know
Yeah,
about. It's only running for a month, so if you're looking to get tickets, you got to
get
get
in
them
there
soon.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. This one's running kicks off November 4th, like you said, in Detroit, and ends
Oh,
in Columbus, Ohio, on November 30th. So pretty. I mean, to be honest with you, looking at these dates, they don't really take too many days off. So this one is just jam packed through the whole month of November. For you region people, though, we've got a Detroit date. We've got where they're playing at the Metro in Chicago on the 5th. Looks like we're going down to Indianapolis the next day. And then it kind of makes a circle around the United States before it gets back to Ohio on that November 30th date. So maybe we will catch you. I would say if I was going to go to this tour, I probably, I don't know. I've never been
you're a
to St.
Chicago
Andrews
guy.
Hall, but
Huh?
I am a Chicago guy and
I
I
was
love
gonna
the
say,
Metro.
anytime I brought up a Detroit show to you, you're like, "No, it's a little far. We'll have to stay the night." Like, it's 3 hours. It's not that
Yeah,
bad, especially when we get done.
I
Trust
mean,
me. I've been on a couple Detroit runs. Yeah, it's late. You don't get home till like 2 in the morning, but it's smooth sailing the whole time. There's like 4 cars out to get home. That's
I
it.
know
No
you're making,
traffic, no nothing.
I know you're making fun of me, but
I'm not.
also to
I'm just saying.
also to make fun of me, I say that we need to stay the night when we go to Chicago as well, just because
Yeah, that's fair.
I like staying the night in any city, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
that's fair.
I would do the same thing in Detroit just because who wants to drive home straight from a show?
Let me tell
I
you
don't.
what I did 4 years ago. First time I went down to Louder Than Life, I had some issues with my credit card. So we got, I had, I had reserved 2 nights at the hotel Thursday night, Friday night, drive back on Saturday. Had an issue with my credit card. So we had to drive back Friday night after Metallica headlining. We caught 95% of their set. The last song that came out, I don't remember what it was. Um, yeah, that was on. We caught like one Master of Puppets, the classics. Um, and the song one, Kat was looking to, view live, and she's like, "All right, I'm good after this." I was like, "Let me get a couple more." I'm not a huge Metallica fan myself, but they're doing pretty good. So we caught that, and
Yeah.
then yeah, when we went to the show that day, I was like, "We're driving back home the 4.5, 5 hours." So I'll drive, dude. I don't. I didn't want to, but I will if I have to. That's my argument.
Well, teaches their own, but I like to be just a little suburban guy out night on the town, you know.
Yeah, right. Mary Tyler Moore, dude, throwing your hat up in the air. Yeah, we're having a great time. It's all right.
Dude, I
I'll
do.
say when we go to
I'm like a
Chicago.
little schoolgirl.
Yeah, that's all right. You don't look like it, but uh no, when we go to Chicago, that's fair that you want to stay, you know what I mean? Cuz I don't know, we just hit the bars, dude. Have a great time, you know what I mean? It's good.
There's so many
It's
cool
a boys' night.
places in Chicago
Yeah,
to have a drink.
I agree. I don't know. I'm not gonna say
Um,
blessed, but my brother lives pretty close to Chicago. He's like 45 minutes out. So like it kind of sucks after his show, but at least I don't have to spend money on a hotel. So I love that.
that's true. That's true. I don't mind. Uh, yeah, that looks like about it for industry news for the week.
We should segue into the track of the week. I'm excited to talk about this one. I don't know if you guys, well, I feel like we talked about this. You haven't listened to Silent Planet that much. I got to catch him for
I
the
have
first
not.
time late last year. Yeah, yeah, it was for my birthday celebrations. Me and my brother, my wife got to go see Devil Wears Prada, Silent Planet. There's like two other bands. See You Space Cowboy. They got their own issues going on right now. There's one other band. It breaks my heart that I don't know. Oh, like Moss to Flames. We got to meet Chris, the lead vocalist from there. Super cool guy. Anyways,
Nice.
Silent Planet. They got a new song out called Wick. And that's like I said, it's exciting for me because the last thing I got to listen to, or the newest thing that they've released, was a couple of tracks that they did in collaboration with Invent Animate, which aren't bad at all. I'm not a big fan of collab stuff. Like if I'm looking for a band, I want to listen to the band, you know. But yeah, Wick starts strong, stays heavy, has a couple moments where they bring things down a little bit, but then they punch you in the face again with some heavy riffs, some double bass, you know. Solid track. I recommend it to everybody.
Yeah, I will say not
Uh-huh.
not not super familiar with anything that they got going on, so that'll be new for me too. But
If
I'll
I can
check
give
it
you a
out.
frame of reference, Ryan, when I
Yeah.
got to see them, this is what made me fall in love with these guys. I'm not calling this one a gimmick because you're probably gonna ask, but for their second to last song of their set, their lead vocalist, I don't know his name, got out into the crowd. We're at the intersection, so you're familiar with that now. Like it's not a large venue. The rail to stage ratio, excuse me, ratio is kind of small. It's like what, five,
Yeah.
6 feet maybe. Uh, Dude jumps off the stage, gets over the rail, gets up. Everyone in the crowd lifts him up, and he's like, up, up. So they lift him up. He's standing on their hands. He grabs the rafters, hooks his legs on top, and does like 2 minutes of the song just screaming his heart out.
Oh
Finishes
yeah.
off like that. That's sick.
That's a boss. That's a boss move.
That's entertainment right there. That's what I pay money for tickets. That's why.
That is entertainment.
So give them a shot.
That's
They know
show
what they're doing.
behavior right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Sounds
It's
like it.
beautiful. Yeah, enough about that, though. That's all right.
Well,
Got a little
moving
feature going
forward,
on. Yeah.
we do have a little feature. So I'm still laughing to this day because the first time that I heard the album that we're about to start talking about, I texted you immediately and told you that we were going to be
Immediately.
talking about this today
Yep.
because of how just absolutely disgusted I was with what I had
Yeah.
just heard. So today I will be talking smack about the Crimson 2025 by Atreyu. Um, so this apparently was released on July 11th. Um,
A few
the
weeks ago.
fact that it is just, yeah, the fact that it is just now come across my attention that this happened just speaks volumes to how people feel about this album. Which, if you're like me, you think very poorly of it. So just to venture back to how important the original of the Crimson was to me and my musical influences. Um, th- that album was legitimately the first thing that I listened to that had clean and screaming vocals and just meshed so well that I became a fan of screaming vocals.
Right. Yeah.
Um, I didn't like it before. I was more of a, I mean, I was young. This was, going into high school. So I was young. I still listened to, things like Slipknot and System of a Down and,
Yeah. The time this record came
some
out,
heavier
I was
stuff.
not allowed to listen to that stuff. Let me give
Yeah.
viewers a little history on me now. I had to grow up with Christian rock, Christian metal. So anyone signed by Solid State, I could get away with. I could explain to my parents it's totally cool. You know what I mean? So yeah, to see an
They're talking
album,
about God.
yeah, you know what I mean? Demon Hunter, Underoath, August Burns Red. Excuse me, I got really
No
excited.
discredit to any of them. They make awesome music. So
Oh yeah, but to see
no
an
ma-
album
no
like
matter
the
how you
first when
feel.
it first came out, uh, no, that would have been a hard pass. I didn't get to them until a few years later. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, considering the fact that this is basically just a whole album about vampires, I would imagine
yeah,
your Christian parents
more
probably
vamp.
wouldn't be very happy
So
about it.
I still love
They
them.
they
I
weren't
get why they
into
did it.
that. um, but yeah, dude. Listening to this, I was like, it popped up, and I was like, didn't even know that this was going to be happening. So when it popped up on my Spotify, I looked at it and was just like, I can't believe that they're doing this. Like I knew that they were going out on tour for the anniversary of it,
Yeah,
which I'm not even sure what anniversary it is. This came out in 2004.
21 years. What a weird
So
number. Should have done it last year. What the hell?
that it that yeah, that is a really weird. Oh, maybe they did tour it last year for that.
Yeah.
But either way, um yeah, this popped up on my Spotify and I was like, "No, they didn't." And I clicked on it and I was like, "Yes, they did. They did that."
Hmm.
And
I'm so
I
sorry
will
for you.
say from the start of the album, um, Blood Children, for anybody who's familiar with it, is just an intro track, pretty much just a build up. For the most part, what I recognized, it seemed pretty similar. There might be some minor changes to it, but um, it's just kind of like a build up to go into the album. Um, the second track, Bleeding Mascara, for me was one of my favorite songs on the album.
Real big fan of
When I
that
first
song.
got into the album, it just such a heavy hitter intro track.
Is that the one with the
And in Yep,
Okay, okay,
it is
okay.
very. I mean, all their stuff is very noodly
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
doodly,
Yeah.
but yeah, that one's especially doodly. But listening to this when it came out in 2004, um, Bleeding Mascara was just like so heavy and just so upbeat and powerful. I immediately dug it. The remaster or re-recording, however you want to describe it, was pretty similar. I wasn't offended by this track at all. It was fine. It wasn't until track 3, The Right Side of the Bed, when I started feeling the disgust. And it's, I mean, you you kind of see it all the time. You get the drummer who is just very outgoing and wants to be, um, he wants to be the center of attention, but he's stuck behind a drum kit,
Uh-huh.
so he can't really be the center of attention. So you know what you do? You sing backup vocals. And
Right.
you're like, if I sing backup vocals, then maybe people will pay attention to me. Well, in Brandon's case, it wasn't enough because eventually just had to push Alex out of the band completely to be the center of attention. And all of my fears going into listening to this re-recording
Mhm.
came true, which was I knew that he was going to just butcher all of the screaming parts, all of Alex's parts from the original. He was going to butcher those and I knew he was going to oversing on it because that's what you got to do when you got to show off as being a new vocalist who used to be the drummer. But it just progressively happens more and more the farther you get into this album, and it just I am not here for it. You
Yeah.
know the face that you make when a nasty riff comes on or a breakdown comes on and you're just like you're into it. And that's also the face that you kind of make when you smell something really putrid.
Yeah.
That's uh that's the face that I was making at listening to this album, but not in a good way.
That's fair.
Just so mad.
I gotta say, their music still sounds good. Like, I love the instrumentals, like the bass, the guitar, the drums, all of it. Um, but yeah, I did notice the big difference, because eventually I got into Atreyu and then I ended up listening to their backlog. I think it was like 2008, 2009 when I got into them. I
Mhm.
really enjoyed the Crimson after I finally got around to it. Um, but yeah, I did notice a big difference, with Brandon. I think he's taken over.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
between Alex and Brandon's vocals, it takes you out, when you're so used to something sounding a certain way. It's kind of how I feel about Chiodos, like we were saying, like despite my hot take, um I'm not saying I hate the new album, but I'm so used to listening to it a certain way now that between both of them that they've been re-released, I don't see myself popping either of those on my normal rotation because of how different
Yeah.
it is. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Yeah. And uh I mean as opposed to Chiodos's re-release of All's Well That Ends Well, that one I think I know different musicians and everything playing on the album. So, but they played it pretty true. And I think for the most part, it kind of just seemed like a little bit more professional and like higher produced. Everything's just kind of cleaned
yeah,
up a little bit. And they didn't
right.
really stray too far away from things. So that was a pleasant surprise for me. And would I go for would I listen to that album over the original? Probably not. Um, but definitely I would give that one a thought over The Curse. The Curse,
Curse. I
I'm
said
not even
Crimson
gonna
earlier. I'm sorry.
or that yeah, that's what it is. Sorry. The Curse is a track off of it. Um, or no, it is The Curse.
No, you're right.
Crimson is
I'm
the song.
wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all right. We got a little confused. But yeah, The Curse, I won't even I won't even think about this re-recording after this episode is over.
That's fine. You're entitled to that.
Um, but yeah, I don't have anything else to shit on them anymore. I don't agree with what they're doing. I'm not going to give them any money. I'm not going to give them any streams on the new album.
That's fair.
I'm going to continue
You did enough
listening to them.
research. That's all you need.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I gave them enough streams for research. Um, but yeah, I just don't really agree with how the band has treated Alex. I think, like you said, the instrumentals on the re-recording are good. It's all the same guys for the most part, except I
Yeah.
believe there's a new bass player maybe since
No,
then.
he's been around for. Are
Um,
you talking about Atreyu?
yeah,
Yeah, it's his same bass player since.
same guy.
Was he on Lead Sales? Yeah, he used to do like backup
Oh yeah,
screams.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's been with the
Smart.
band for a while. He
Yeah.
just wasn't on the original album, is
Right.
what I'm
Yeah.
getting at.
Exactly.
Um, but I still think, even though I'm most mad at Brandon, I'm mad at everybody. How dare they allow
Right.
Alex to be treated like that?
Right.
But whatever.
I don't know. I did a
So yeah,
little bit of digging into the situation, and it's not it sounds like Alex was in a weird spot in his life. Maybe that's the third child thing that I'd mentioned with Josh earlier. But yeah, him and his wife were about to have a kid. It was going to be like the last kid that they could have. This is just through interviews that I was reading. And
Yeah.
then it was like the height of COVID that was just starting out, so he's got to figure out more family space, no more family after that. The world shutting down, and then yeah, that's that. I guess that was his test to see how strong he was, and seems like he's doing pretty all right. He's got a new band. I don't remember their name.
Yeah, I also don't remember their name. I checked it out right after he did that whole uh post Atreyu interview. I'm not sure who it
Yeah,
was with. It might have been the Jesse Lee show, or um it might have been Nick Nocturnal. I don't
Dead
know. One of the
Icarus.
two. Uh yeah, Dead Icarus, that's the name.
Yeah,
I did check him out. It was good.
nice.
It's
I'll have
it's
to put
fine.
them on. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty good. Uh they don't have
sick.
me like going back to their stuff very often, but it's good music. So if you want to support them, there you go. Check out Dead Icarus. But moving on, um, I think we're gonna go into our deep dive, which
Yeah,
is something that I think Tyler is super excited
very
for
excited
today
about
because he
this
gets
one.
to talk
I'm
about one
excited
of
about
his favorite
everything.
bands.
Yeah, we did mention them a minute ago. Underoath. It's been a little while, so everyone's probably had some time to listen to it, form their own opinions. But I was just, I'm not gonna say blessed because this whole situation sucked. But I don't know if you remember Ryan. It's been pretty recent, but I had ordered that album edition whiskey from Three Chord. Got the wrong order. They sent me a bunch of wine. That was dumb. So I had to communicate with them, hey, you sent me the wrong thing. And I'm gonna be honest with you, like I like whiskey, but I was buying it for the album. It came with the whole record, rocks
Yeah,
glass, the whiskey. Those were benefits, you know. I wanted the record. But yeah, the album, The Place After This One, it's their third release since their hiatus. We had Erase Me. It took me a while to get into that one, but I love it now. The Voyeurist
yeah,
was after
that's it.
that. What were you saying?
Erase Me. That's the album that has Rapture on it.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, yep.
It's a good album.
It was like a black and
They had
green front, right?
they
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so when they released it, they had that like angel statue that was all being it
Yep.
looked like he was digitized and stuff, but when they had the sleeve around it, when I remember cuz I ended up buying it.
Yeah.
It was all like green, yeah, so it was like green, black, whatever, which was I'm gonna just say weird to me because like when I listen to Under Oath, I think of like black and blue and white, and I don't know, it's like wintry. And when that came out, I was like, whoa, that's different. Just a small thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. But yeah,
Yeah, I don't
Voyeurs came out. Yeah.
no, I was gonna say, I
Uh,
mean, I see where you're getting, but I do actually associate green with Under Oath. And that is because um I did go back and listen to their old records before this, but when I got into Under Oath was during their Only Chasing Safety in 2004.
that was like a
And
seafoam,
that
like a light blue.
yep,
I'm not gonna
yep,
give it green, but
the oxygen mask had the like
yeah,
greenish
yeah. All right, that's fair.
thing.
I gotta say, my first
So,
foray into Under Oath was Define the Great Line. That was the first album I'd listened to. And then I went back and listened to, excuse me, They're Only Chasing Safety. Still haven't really gotten to the Dallas days, like, what do we have? Cries
it's
of the
a totally
Past,
different band.
Hand of Stone or something. I don't remember. But yeah, no,
Dude,
definitely different.
funny enough, Hand of Stone
Uh-huh.
is still to this day one of the few songs that I can play on guitar
Oh,
almost straight from the beginning to the end.
I did not know that
I don't
about
know
him.
what
That's awesome.
it it's a really easy song to play, so I
Yeah.
won't toot my horn by any
Right.
means, but
All right.
I still remember it every time.
That's
I
cool.
just
To
like
your horn.
if I want to do some chugging
Right.
and maybe some tremolo picking, like dude,
Right.
that's a song.
All right. All right. Let's go. We'll
Yep.
let's start talking about the album that I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
Finally,
Yeah.
it's just a solid track. I'm gonna say I got super excited when I found out that Troy Sanders, he's got the smallest part in it for Mastodon. But he's on, I don't know what number track, but Vultures. He does a little bit of the chorus, outro, bridge. I'm not a songwriter, so
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's near the end. It's a few lines. Yeah, powerful album. I really like it because it reminds me of their old music, a little bit of disambiguation in there. We've got that just kind of heavier, envelops you, define the great line. And then a couple songs have that, like you said, that like kind of faster picking, quicker parts, from They're Only Chasing Safety with a little bit more clean vocals. Most of the band is still there, which I absolutely love. There's like one guy who just left right after The Voyeurist, I want to say.
Yeah, I was
But
gonna say I'm reading right now. It
mhm,
looks like James Smith, the rhythm guitarist who's been with them since they're only chasing safety.
yeah.
This
Yeah,
will be his
Spencer,
first
Tim,
album without
Grant,
them.
Chris, Aaron. Yeah, they're all there.
Yep.
And I love that they're still making
Yeah,
music. That's so cool. Going on a hiatus for like 2, 3, 4 years, like that's enough to make people forget about you. You know what I mean? Granted, I'm not trying to say
yeah,
Underoath is a forgettable band. Like they had already had a solid 10, 15 years of making music at that point. But they came out strong, obviously changed. I'm sure we've all heard of their issues with the industry, being a Christian band, having some personal issues that they needed to get through. But having those people that were supposed to have their back turn their back, I mean, you see it in their lyrics if you do a little deep dive. Um, but I don't blame him. Like to have supported an industry for so long and then to be in a vulnerable state and to see those people that said they cared turn their back, I do the same thing. I don't blame him. And now we get great music from it. Thanks, Under Oath. I appreciate it. Yeah, I definitely recommend the track Vulture. Generation No Surrender. I think that I don't know if it was released first as a single, but it's got a solid rhythm to it. Let's see, Shame, Teeth. Teeth is another song that I absolutely love. I can't get enough of it. I had it. You can't right there. Here's the album hanging out on my vinyl player. Uh,
heck yeah,
yeah, I've already listened to it 6 or 7 times since I got the record a week ago. Whenever I'm at home, I've got some free time. I know I'm not going to be bugging everybody, just cranking it up a little bit. Not quite 11, but enough.
yeah,
The knob's
yeah.
still on. It wasn't ripped off. But yeah, I'll pop it on anytime. Flip it back over, side A, side B, excuse me, and just keep listening to it. It's good. I love it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I haven't listened to the whole entire album. I will admit, but Generation No Surrender I think is on my 2025 playlist. So all of my favorite tracks of the year. I want to say Survivor's Guilt has come across my Spotify account as well as All Love Is Gone. Um, and I would say me not specifically paying attention that they were singles released for a new record. I'd say they fall really well into
Mhm.
all of Underoath's discography. They just sound like Underoath.
Never disappoint, honestly. Like I said, I wasn't a big
Doesn't
fan of
disappoint
Erase
me,
Me at
that's for
first. I I didn't know what to think. I guess I was holding on to who they were before, and I needed to grow too. So it took me a few
yeah.
years, but now it's anytime it pops on, I will listen the hell out of that album or the heaven. It depends,
Yeah, I will
however you look
say
at it.
that I, I kind of fell off of Underoath for a while. Um,
What was the last album you
let's see.
remember getting into? 'Cause
The last
Disambiguation
album that
had a guy from Norma Jean as the drummer after Aaron left. Great album.
yeah. Yeah. I let's see. I did listen to a little bit off of that, but I didn't like go buy that record when it first came out.
Okay.
Um, let's see. I remember Lost in the Sound of Separation a little bit. I think that was probably the
Okay.
last album that I purchased. Um, but Define the Great Line is the last like memorable album for me, really. Um, yeah, I mean, I listened to They're Only Chasing Safety like it was going out of style
Right.
in 2004. That was like one of the hottest emo albums at the time.
There.
And then all three of their Dallas albums were good. And Define the Great Line was really good. They kind of lost me after Lost in the Sound of Separation, and then I kind of passed up on Disambiguation. But then I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even know about any of the drama that Underoath was going through. I didn't hear about any of the issues with Spencer and his drug problems. I didn't hear about really any of that. But then I do remember seeing Erase Me pop up on the shelves at like Meyer or Walmart or
Mm-hmm.
something. And I was like, what is this? A new Underoath
Yeah.
album? And I grabbed it and I was like, this is not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Was not bad. Um, it definitely didn't blow me away, but I was like, it is good to listen to some Underoath again.
Right. Yeah, I thought I was never gonna be able to see him again. There was that tour they did. It was their kind of their farewell tour. They'd announced, and they're like, "We're done after this." It was, of course, during the disambiguation days, but I remember Underoath was playing with Bring Me the Horizon, who I still need to see, and a couple other bands. I don't remember who it was. I had kind of an opportunity to go see him, but I wasn't able to get tickets in time, so I spent like the next 3 years just being depressed. It was like, oh, they're never gonna play again. This sucks. But here they are, going strong. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah. I'm trying to see. I want to say, I feel like I've I've definitely seen Underoath, and I'm trying to figure out what era that would have been in. I want to say, don't quote me on this, but I want to say I might have saw them only at Warp Tour, which it looks like they played yeah, right around in the time frame that I was going. So yeah, I'm pretty sure the only time that I've ever caught them was at Warp Tour,
Okay.
which, as both of us know, in the OG days of tour, not the best. I mean, it was a very affordable way to see all of your favorite bands back then, but I wouldn't call that um I wouldn't call that the most prime atmosphere to see music that you love, you know?
Right.
It's just not exactly Vans Warped Tour being in a 100-degree parking lot with a stage plopped into it, um, and having 6 other bands play in the vicinity, sounds just bouncing everywhere. It was like a
Hmm.
you're like, I guess I'm kinda listening to Underoath, but I also hear 303 in the background and, uh, metro stations over in the other corner.
Yeah, right.
I can hear them. So, not my favorite, show experiences, but it was a good time.
Nice. Well, it looks like we got a couple more things to get to before we gotta head out for the night. But I'm trying to throw a little challenge for you, Ryan. We got 4 albums listed right now that I want you to consider very strongly. But we're gonna do a one gotta go right now. I'm gonna give you 4 options. That's how we're starting
Okay.
off. We're talking about Atreyu. It's not the Curse, the Crimson. We'll get to it later. It's Lead Sails Paper Anchor with Becoming the Bull. Actually, my first album I checked out
Okay.
by Atreyu. The next one I got up,
That it
we were talking about this one, but it's the OG release. All's Well That Ends Well by Chiodos. The next
okay.
one I'm throwing out, Devil Wears Prada, Plagues. We're talking Hey John, What's
Okay.
Your Name Again? We've got HTML Rules, dude. What was on there? Goats on a Boat, was that on there? Yeah, that was the first song. Yeah. Reptar, King of the Oz, just great. I'm gonna keep talking about him all night, so I'm gonna continue. The
Yeah.
last one, Bullet for My Valentine's, The Poison. Everybody knows that one. I think got a lot of us into metalcore. Yeah, we got those
Yeah.
4. I need you to pick one and axe it, dude.
I'm picking one of those albums and I'm just throwing it out the window, never to be heard again.
Throwing it out there. Exactly. No longer
Well,
exists.
I mean, that is a hard list. Let's see. If I were to put these in to release order, which one came out first? Was it Chiodos or Bullet for My Valentine? Because those are right around the same time, right?
Bullets came out first. Oh no, hold on. July 2005 for All's Well. The
Yep.
Poison was first released in the UK in October of 2005. So we're looking at All's Well
Okay.
first and then The Poison.
Okay. Well, okay. So starting at the beginning of time,
Yep.
uh, All's Well That Ends Well. It's just a super nostalgic album for me. Um, Around that time, there were so many really good defining emo bands, and that was Chiodos was one of them. I remember um, the Craig Owens and Anthony Green friendship, and a lot of the stuff that was going on there. Uh, Also, that ends well is a killer album. The
Hmm.
track that got me locked into this album was the words "best friend" become redefined.
Yeah.
The the tapping intro, just so heavy.
So good.
Everything about that was so heavy, and then, I mean, it kind of calms down later in the song, and then it picks back up.
Right.
But it's a killer song. I think it came on. I would have to. I feel like I'm just throwing shit at the wall at this point, but I want to say I first heard that song on a Equal Visions sampler CD.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, it would have had to have been. So that track came on this sampler CD and I immediately fell in love with it. And then I immediately
Fair.
took very few dollars that I had on my person at the time, and I
Yeah, right.
drove to the mall and I went to FYE Music and I found this record and I bought it. Um,
Nice.
so at the end of the day, that album, it's got to stay. Moving on to the next one in chronological order. Bullet for My Valentine, The Poison. I'm just gonna say right now that shit's staying. I'm not throwing that out
For sure.
at all. I'm pretty
For
sure
sure.
the two of us talked about this. What was that? Earlier this year when
I
I
think
was
so.
listening to The Poison like
Yeah.
every
I
fucking
think
day for
they were on
like
their
2 weeks straight.
yeah, I think they were on their 20 year and they just announced that tour with Trivium possibly.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and we had a I think they just had a re-release of The Poison as well. Um
Maybe they did.
yeah,
I don't know if they re-recorded it, but they definitely did a
right.
re-release.
Exactly. Just to
Um,
remind people, hey, remember this album? Of course you do.
yep,
Buy it again.
yep.
Trying to make
Uh,
those trying to get double platinum right now, guys. Come on.
yeah, right.
Exactly.
Um, yeah, that
I'm
album
looking for that.
is
That
just
can stay.
fucking killer. Yeah, I mean, starting with Her Voice Resides, such a good song. Four Words, Choke Up On,
Oh yeah.
I think might have been. I mean, that's a really good track. I was gonna say I think that might have been the song that got me into them, but I lied. That was Hand of Blood,
I would
which is
same thing.
track
Yep.
8. Yeah, that song got me so hard. Um, I mean, all these things I hate revolve around you is a good
Yeah.
song. Tears Don't Fall is a that'll put a tear in any metalhead's eyes.
Yeah. Get you right in
Uh,
those fields.
Suffocating under words of sorrow, hit the floor, room 409, the poison.
Mhm.
This whole thing is just fucking banger after
Every part
banger.
of it. Exactly.
So sorry, that doesn't even come close to the rest. But let's see, what's next? Would it have been Atreyu or Devil Wears Prada?
These two albums were
Atreyu,
released a week after or within each other. Plagues came out first. It's
a
like October
week.
21st. Uh August 21st of '07. Lead Sails came out August 28th. So literally a week between those two.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Um, what a exciting week in
That's what I'm saying.
2007 and
Right.
what an exciting random August week in 2007
Right.
to go into your local Hot Topic and see both of these albums sitting on the shelf. Um, well, let's see. To be fair, uh Devil Wears Prada technically came out first, so I'll talk about them first. Um, Devil Wears Prada is another one of those uh nostalgic
Mhm.
screamo bands of the 2000s. This album was really good. It was a so I fell in love with them during the previous record, Dear Love of Beautiful Discord.
Yep.
Um yeah, that was the album at the time. The follow-up Plagues, it was I remember it being like you couldn't have followed that up with any better of an album. This one was killer. And reading on their Wikipedia page about this album right now, it says that the Devil Wears Prada it was influenced by Norma Jean, Haze the Day, and Still Remains when they were writing this album, which makes so much sense. That's such a
Yep.
killer lineup of influential bands, and this album was really good when it first came out. I think you said, what'd you say? Goats on a Boat,
Yep.
HTML Rules, dude. Hey John, what's your name again? Reptar, King of the Ozone, killer lineup.
Every to me, every song on this album is perfect. I have no complaints. no gripes, no nothing. And I was a little worried last few times I've seen him because I had read through some interviews that they did like a play all your old stuff kind of tour for a while. And then they're like, after
Okay.
this, we're probably not going to bring out a lot of these tracks. We're only focusing on our new stuff, which is fair. You got a band that's been around for like 20 odd years. I mean, they're just about it. Yeah, just I think next year will be their like 20 year before. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, when you've been around for that long, like you get kind of tired of playing only the hits, only the classics. You want to showcase the
Right.
differences that you have. And for Devil Wears Prada, to me, like they've only evolved, they've only grown. Their last track that they just dropped, their single For You, and they've explained it too, like it's not our normal track. It's not super heavy. Like it's got some heavy parts, but it's not the same thing that we've been releasing. We're trying to do different things, and that's fair. I respect that. Uh, but yeah, it's just like Underoath. Like I talk about these guys all day. I know we've had some discussions about Devil Wears Prada in the past, and I don't think you've listened much past with Roots Above, Branches Below, or this
Yep.
one. But every album, I'm not gonna say when it was released. I ended up dropping off. What was it? Dead Throne. I want to say
Yep.
818. That's about when I dropped off. And then it took me a couple years. I missed the act, Transit Blues and the act. I was listening up to 818. And then 9 years later, Color Decay, such a good album, comes out, and I'm right back into it. I feel like I'm 14 again. You know what I mean? It's just such a banger.
Yeah. Well, I mean, funny enough, the Devil Wears Prada, them being from Dayton, Ohio, and coming up in 2005,
Mm,
um, I kind of take that as a almost a local band because I grew up
right.
in Northwest Indiana.
Yeah, I hear they used to play around
Smack,
here all the time.
they did. I saw them. I want to say 3 or 4 times probably growing up, just because,
Uh,
yeah, in the early days they were in the area a lot, and then obviously they jumped on um, the Vans Warped Tour circuit
right.
when they started getting popular. But yeah, I mean, being in Ohio and being one state over from where I was growing up at the time, I mean, I basically consider them a local band of the Midwest. So obviously you root for them.
One of
Um,
us. One of
one
us.
of us, one of us. Uh, yeah, I've met these guys. I've talked to them in various places. Some of the earlier shows that I went and saw of them at some smaller venues.
You saw him at
We
work
chat.
one time. One of the places you worked. What was
I
it? Greenbush?
I I did. Yeah, when I was working at
Such a
Greenbush
cool story.
Brewing Company. Um, Funny enough, I've met a handful of famous people there. Adam Devine from Workaholics. I met him.
Okay.
Um, and I have a picture with him as proof. Uh,
Nice.
the Devil Wears Prada all came in together. We gave them a tour of our brewery, and I actually have a picture with them standing on our brew tower at Greenbush. Uh, Nick Offerman from Parks and Rec,
Okay.
aka Ron Swanson.
Right.
I
The
met
man.
him there. Yeah, I met him there. This isn't as cool anymore because he abandoned us. But at the time, I met Brian Kelly, the head coach of Notre Dame football team. Um,
Uh-huh.
and he was not as cool. But yes, I did meet the Devil Wears Prada many a times, and I support them.
Nice.
And like
I'm
you
glad.
said, I listened when Color Decay came out. Was They kept popping up on my Spotify, and I was into them.
I kept
And
bugging you about it too. I also had a hand in that. I know I did.
yeah, 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 I was into it. Um, but yeah, and then the last album that we were talking about, Atreyu,
Yeah, lead sales.
Lead Sales, Paper Anchor. I feel like you set me up in this section
I did.
for me to continue talking crap about Atreyu. But I will say that this record does not hold nearly as much weight as the other ones to me. This record, so the album before this was, uh, what did we say that was? That was the album with X's and O's and whatnot.
No, X's
Oh,
and
a Death
O's
Grip
was
on Yesterday.
after. Or no, was it before? Yeah, that
Yeah,
was before. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. It was on a Death Grip on Yesterday.
Yep.
So that album I was heavily into. Obviously coming off the Curse, I was a super big fan. So I was looking forward to their next release. And then when Lead Sales and Paper Anchor was being promoted, I was super excited about that. And then they released Becoming the Bull,
Yep.
the single off of that song. So that song now I think is amazing. I think it is a killer, just straight up metal song. Um, the as much as I talk crap about Brandon and his vocals, the chorus to Becoming the Bull is super tough and one
Mm-hmm.
of the most catchy choruses of all time. So I'll give them credit where credit is due, but
Yeah.
I will say I was not a big fan of the rest of that album. I
Okay.
thought that it was very dull. It was very dulled down from their previous stuff, and it
Right.
was definitely
A
aiming
little more
towards
commercial.
a yeah, definitely a more radio friendly and commercial look. So
Yeah.
that was when I turned my back on Atreyu, and still to this day, I mean, I'll listen. I'll put on Becoming the Bull and I'll jam, but I'm not listening to anything after this.
That's fair.
So I guess that kind of sums it up. If I had to get rid of one of them, Lead Sales and Paper Anchor, get the hell out of here. The other ones are too important.
Gone.
Gone.
Wish I had a little soundboard for that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Right.
Woo.
Woo. Right. Exactly.
Yep. Right into the trash.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
One last thing that I wanted to talk about before we run out of time today is just real quick. I just wanted to give some uh, credit to Ozzy Osbourne. This week he had his funeral, which was live streamed. I unfortunately did not catch the live stream as it started, I think, at like 8 a.m. or something like that
Right.
on what was that, Wednesday, maybe? Um, but yeah, I just wanted to,
Oh yeah.
talk about one a pretty good showing of people from the rock and metal world. Obviously, the whole entire band of Black Sabbath was there.
Yep.
We saw James Hetfield on the side. Marilyn Manson paid his respect, uh, regardless of whether you might what your opinions might be on that guy. Rob Zombie, Corey Taylor, Youngblood, of course, who's blown up over his cover of Changes.
Yep.
And then Elton John also was present, along with Ozzy's longtime guitarist, Zach Wild. Um, and it
In a
looked
cool
like,
hat. I love those pictures.
yeah, the picture's really cool. The one picture that I thought was a little weird was the pictures of all of the fans in the background,
Uh huh.
and it's just the picture of the family in funeral attire, like crying,
Yeah.
and there's just like metal fans in the background.
Uh-huh.
That was kind of weird. I
Right.
don't know how I felt about that, but I mean, it was good that everybody showed their support again.
Uh-huh.
So yeah,
Yeah, especially so
that
soon
was
after that last final show. That was crazy to me that it was timed out so perfectly. Like last show, they do a big thing for him, and then he's just like, you know what? Stick. I'm out of here, guys. And that was it. Like you couldn't have planned it
that's all he
better.
was holding on for, man.
Right.
He was just hanging on to give us one last show, and it was a hell of a show.
Thanks, Ozzy. You rule.
So yeah, as much as people talk crap about Sharon Osbourne for milking money out of him as much as possible, I'll still buy the live stream of that final show.
Yeah.
Whenever you release that on DVD or whatever, I'm buying it. You release it on vinyl, I'm buying it.
Right. Have to keep an eye out for
But yeah.
that. Hopefully it happens.
So yeah, man, I think that's all the time we got for today, huh?
Yeah, I think so. We've been talking for a while for sure. It's been a
Yeah.
good one. Good
Uh
first episode, my
yeah,
guy.
I agree. So yeah, if you want to follow us, please like and subscribe on YouTube at the Riff Report News. We also have an Instagram now. It's at the dot riff dot report. So follow us on there to get updates on your metal and alternative rock news. Follow us on YouTube so that you can get updated when we release new episodes, which we plan on doing every Tuesday night.
Yeah. Well, thanks everybody. Stay loud. Stay angry. We'll catch y'all in the pit.
See you, man.
Later.